Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me for another Danny Wood Meet Me After Class moment. Hey, did you ever find that your sales cycle is getting longer and longer, you don't have control over it, or maybe you show up for meetings and you thought you had a certain amount of time, your prospect thought you had a different amount of time, maybe you were expecting a decision at the end of the meeting and your prospect said, hey, you know what, let me think this over and get back to you. So let me share with you a tool that we use at Sandler. It's actually the second compartment of our Sandler selling submarine, the second part of our selling system, which is the upfront contract. So what we want to do is when we show up for a meeting, we want to say, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me in. Hey, by the way, are we okay on time? A few weeks ago when we set the meeting, we agreed to an hour. Still have the hour? We still okay with that? Next, we want to talk about the objective. The objective of our meeting today is to determine if we can help you, that we've helped other leaders in their industry, if we're able to help you the same. I'm sure you're going to have some questions for me. Hey, let's pretend it's an hour from now and I'm walking out the door. What would make this a good meeting for you? Let them share what those points are, and then you can respond with, oh, I appreciate that. Certainly we want to cover those. I have some questions I'd like to ask you as well, some high-level questions. I'd like to know some of the things that are going very well in your business, some of the things that could be doing better, maybe even something that keeps you up at night if you were a light sleeper. Next, we want to go and do something a little unorthodox, folks. You may not be used to this, but what we want to say is, if during our meeting I find that we're not the right firm for you, would it be all right if I told you so? Would it be all right if I shared with you that maybe there's somebody else, another firm that would be better fit to help you in this situation? Would you be upset with me for that? Now, again, a little unorthodox, builds total credibility. Also, the law of reciprocity kicks in, because now what I can say is, could you do the same for me? If you felt that I wasn't a fit for whatever reason, timing, budgetary constraints, existing relationships, whatever it is, would you feel free telling me, you know what, Dan, thanks for coming down, but we're not a fit? Next, it may be a yes. It would sound like this. Equally as important, our questions and answers, we may find that they match. And if that's the case, what we could do is decide together what the next steps are. I don't know what they are at this moment. We can figure that out together. But typically, it's one of two things. Either we may decide to do a small piece of business today, or we may decide to get another date in the calendar when we'll get together again. Now, guys, that's a way, those last two items right there, you're picking what's in your favor. First, you get the no out of the way. Then, there's going to be two things moving forward. You give the options. Two things you'd like to see happen. Now, there are two optional pieces, two elements at the end of the upfront contract. Biggest fear, and here's an example for that. Greg, I know that I was referred to you by Jennifer, and I appreciate that you're meeting with me today. My biggest fear is that you're meeting me out of a courtesy, that you really don't have an intention or any intentions of taking the business to the next level or hearing what I have to say, but you're good friends with Jennifer, so you took the meeting. That's my biggest fear. Would that be the case here? Also, what we can do is interruptions. Have you ever found that you're in a meeting where you're getting constantly interrupted? Maybe there's a business environment where, or a construction site that you're meeting, or a busy office where you're getting interruptions and you find that you're not getting enough done. You may want to say, is this the best place to have the meeting right now so that we can make the best use of our time? Don't be afraid of doing that, folks. Salespeople have rights. What the upfront contract will do is to help you create equal business stature. Now, the biggest takeaway today, guys, that I heard from the class was a reminder of one of the Sandler 49 timeless rules for sales success, and that is, selling is a Broadway show put on by a psychiatrist. It's a role that we play, guys. We have to know our lines. We have to be scripted. Don't sound scripted, sound conversational, but we need to show up prepared. Hope this helps. Go out, have a great week, good selling. See you next week for another Danny Wood Meet Me After Class moment.